Corso, Outdoor Eats. I'm here to put you on the path to amazing meals on your outdoor treks, and we are talking about dessert here today. And I don't know about you, but I can only eat about 2 s'mores in a season. They are so tasty, they are so classic Americana. For me, they just get a little bit tired. So I don't know about you, maybe you can have a s'more every night. We are talking about dessert, and dessert is sometimes forgotten on the road or on the trail. And I think it's important to be able to have some great dessert recipes that aren't necessarily s'mores, that are still super tasty and easy to cook up. This is Elevated Outdoor Meals, and we are talking about fast, easy, and tasty recipes that you can have in your pantry, in your rig, in your backpack to be able to cook up great meals wherever you're going. What we are making here today is we are making a apple date crisp. It has 6 ingredients, cooks up in about 10 to 15 minutes, and is sure to make your whole crew super, super happy. For our camp stove cooking setup here today, we are using a smaller capacity camp stove. This happens to be in a 2.5 liter camp pot, which is a really great pot to be able to have along to cook up for 4 to 6 people, depending on how hungry bear everybody is. And the first thing we're gonna do is chop up some apples and chop up some dates, get them in the pot with some water, and get those all cooking and getting nice and soft. One tip I can give you when you're chopping apples or bell peppers is, instead of going at it from the side and coring it, is do what I call planking. So you do 4 cuts vertically, and then that way you have your core all ready for your compost or pack out bag. Really quick and easy. And we're just looking for a rough chop on these. And we're gonna get those right in the pot. Nice. For our batch here today, I've got 2 medium-sized apples. It really depends on how many people you're cooking for. You can just use 1 apple and a couple dates, or you can use a whole bushel of apples and a whole bunch of dates. Just depends on how many you're cooking for. But it's a really great recipe to be able to scale up or scale down. Also gonna just do a rough chop on these dates. And if you're not familiar with dates, I call these nature's caramel. They are so tasty, a great quick snack dessert. I will say, make sure that you get them pitted or pit them yourself, because that pit is super, super hard, and it is not a good time when you bite into that. And there's a lot of different varieties of dates out there. There's Neglet Dur, there's Medjool, there's a whole bunch of other different ones, and each of them tastes a little bit different, has a little bit different moisture content, just like all the varieties of apples, from Jazz to Envy to Brayburn to Fuji to Granny Smith to Golden Delicious to, I can keep going. There's so many different kinds of apples. All of them are really tasty and have a specific use. But for this recipe, you can use any variety of apple that you like. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our dates. And I specifically like the Medjool variety of date. They're a little bit softer and a little bit more of that caramel flavor. So we have our apples and our dates in our pot. I'm just gonna add a little bit of water and a little bit of cinnamon. And I'm gonna get my burner going here. Awesome. I'm gonna put my lid on it, put my hat on it. And what we're looking for here is this to cook up for about 5 or 10 minutes, the apples to get all soft and the flavors to really come together, and then we'll add our finishing ingredients. While this is cooking up and simmering up, here's a couple quick tips on packing and organization. And if you are backpacking or if you are car camping, it's always really, really helpful and really important to stay organized, both for your cooking ingredients, but also your cooking utensils. So what I have here is just a nice little toiletry tote that I found, and I have all of my knives, my lighters, my tongs for my stoves, multiple different kinds of knives, nice options for foldy, campy camp chef's knives. And I even have some little mini spatulas, which are really great for stirring, also super helpful for cleaning as well. So that can be really, really nice. And that way, when it comes time to cook, you've got your tote or you have your little ditty bag here all ready. You have your stuff all there, and it's really, really easy just to start cooking. Other tip I can give you as far as packing is, so this is a stuff sack, or you could easily use some Ziploc bags as well. And what I tend to do when I'm packing for a meal plan is to put one recipe or one day in one stuff sack. So packing up those dry ingredients, you know, putting maybe the snap peas and the cheese and things in the cooler, but all those dry ingredients right here. So again, it's day 2. You know, you're trying to stick to your general meal plan. I think we're having tacos tonight. Oh, okay, great. Tortillas are right in here, and some of my other ingredients and spices, and that way it's really helpful to stay organized. And some other things that I've found along the way as far as packing your spices and packing your liquids. So for your spices, this, you may think this is familiar, it is. It is a Old Noon drink tab container. So I love putting dry spices in there, makes it for really easy packing for your cinnamon or your garlic powder or your chili powder. And then for your liquids, these are old juice shot containers, anywhere from 2 ounces, 4 ounces. You could also use an old soda bottle, old Pepsi, Coca-Cola bottle. And why that's super, super helpful is that the tops are threaded. So you can really, really get that top on so you're not spilling oil or soy sauce in your rig or on your socks. You know, it maybe happened once before, maybe it didn't, I don't know. But I'm here for you to test out some different things to be able to make it easy to pack up and get out there and enjoy some great meals. So look for some drink bottles either at the grocery store or they might already be hanging out at your house. Let's go ahead and check in on our apple and dates in here. And we're coming up to a nice simmer. And again, we're just looking for this to get nice and soft. Up to you on how soft you would like. Some apples are pretty sturdy and take a few more minutes, and some break down in just a couple. But oh man, it's starting to smell really good. That cinnamon is really coming through. Those dates are starting to get all soft. So we'll come back and check on that. For our topping, you could easily use some homemade granola, some store-bought granola, but what we're using here today is granola bars, because you know what happens? Oatmeal turns into granola, and then it grows up to be a granola bar. And some of these are so dry and they're mashed up anyway. Just embrace it. It's okay if they fell to the bottom of the rig. It's okay if your kid smashed it with his foot. It's gonna be okay because we want it to be broken up anyway, and they often turn out to be like that anyway. So we're using just a couple of our granola bars here. You can choose your favorite flavor. For here, we've just got honey and oats. Just gonna mash those up. Nice, that's looking great. Oh, wow. This is a great seasonal flavor to be able to cook up. Oh, really great cinnamon flavors and smells. And I do want this to be a little bit on the moist side so that our granola and our granola bars can soak up some of that tasty juice. And you know, the thing is I call this crisp because when you think about dessert and pies and crumbles and cobblers and all those kind of things, they're all very, very similar in how you top them, whether that's some butter, some Crisco, some flour, some oatmeal, or some granola to be able to put it on top. So this is a quick little hack with the granola bars to make a crisp without having to bake it. The thing is you can also have this for breakfast and just call it granola. So add my crushed up granola bars, give that a stir. And the last ingredient that I'm gonna add here might be a little bit surprising. This is a little bit of vinegar. And this is a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You could use some rice vinegar as well. And what this is gonna do is add a little bit of freshness to our dish. That little bit of acid that I'm adding is just going to highlight that flavor and enhance all of everything we've got going on in the pot here. So we are looking great here, all done in our camp pot. And the thing is, crisp is really, really good with ice cream. And sometimes you don't have the luxury of having some frozen items along the road or along the trail. So what you could do, if you like, is throw a little bit of Greek yogurt on top. Vanilla yogurt can be really, really nice if you're so inclined, but this tastes really, really good as is. Put a little bit of apple in there. If you like apple pie, if you like apple crisp, you are going to love this with the addition of the nice caramely dates. Get out there, cook up this apple date granola, apple date crisp, however you want to call it. It's delicious, and have something different than s'mores come dessert time on the road. But get out there, cook something tasty, somewhere awesome.